Alright guys, so welcome to my highlights of round 4 of the AOR Supercars Season 2 League. Obviously at Sebring, as you can see on the screen, and this is qualifying right now. This is my fastest lap time in qualifying, and we try and go for no lap towards the end of the session, but my first lap was actually ruined just because I sort of messed it up really. I just didn't have a very good second lap obviously, and I really didn't have a good second lap. So here we are in my third lap of qualifying now. We're trying to hit the apexes right now, trying to nice power. Don't put down the power too quickly because otherwise I'm just going to get lots of oversteer and all that stuff. So I need a good exit from this corner down this little mini straight we have, and we actually are again once again up on our previous time, which obviously is expected to be because our last one was pretty poor, as you can see on the left hand side. And then we're going to go into this hairpin, which is very difficult actually. The braking marker balls were actually taken out in this race, which actually really disturbed, put me off. I couldn't see where I was going to brake, so I think a lot of drivers were experiencing that in the race, where in the qualifying session, where all the brake marker balls were taken out and we couldn't detect where we were trying to brake and try and get the best braking possible. But other than that, we actually are still up obviously, and then they're braking quite late here. I knew where to brake here because there's no, it's quite easy to brake here. And now the second gear, trying to this is quite difficult actually, this double left-hander, and we hold it in there and then on the power quickly at the fourth, and now we're going to go down to third gear, probably second gear actually for this corner, and hug the apex, get a nice acceleration through there, very clean, very smooth indeed, not rushing to put the power down, and it's been a very decent lap so far, and this should be putting us quite high up, I would have thought. And here we go into sort of this quite a tricky section here actually to get right, down the third gear, breaking a straight line, hug the inside line on the apex, and then just gentle with the power, down to about, kick it in third gear, and nice run out this back straight, which we do get. Don't run on that curb on the left hand side, because I think it causes a lot of problems with this, the power and launch of that corner. So pretty good so far, but the last corner is actually very difficult. You can take it a numerous amount of ways. I take it sort of away and not trying to spin the rear wheels. We're very quite late here, down the third gear, trying to hold it in there, and just be careful with the power, and then as soon as you straighten the car up on power, and then this should be a pretty decent lap. This is going to be across the line. This was actually our fastest ever lap on this track. It's a 109.908, I think it is, 908. So that's pretty much it. But towards the end of the qualifying session, we tried to go for another run here, and yeah, I felt I could have improved on that lap because I felt you can take the first corner. I didn't take the first corner as I would like to on my previous lap, so I tried to improve. But it wasn't to be really. I mean, I was trying to push as hard as I can at this point and get whatever lap time possible. And I felt this was actually a better lap than my previous lap, but it just wasn't better. So a bit upsetting for me really. But 4 teams is where we're going to qualify at this Grand Prix, or this race, not Grand Prix. What am I about? So yeah, that's pretty much really what happened in qualifying. The same people normally dominate. After top 4, just unreachable really. And for me, running this track, I didn't really have the pace. I mean, I just didn't have the pace. I'm not gonna lie, and I felt like there was more time, that there was more of a gap between the top drivers and the bottom drivers in this race because there are more corners in this longer. So not bad anyway. In 14th place, and we're ahead of some of our rivals for this championship. But yeah, pretty good for us. Top time was a 2:07, which was just out of our reach really. But yeah, this should be a good race, interesting race, and we had a pretty decent race. Some things sort of didn't go our way, and you'll see it in the actual highlights right now, because actually I'm able to show you the full highlights because the actual game recorded my highlights. But here we are off the start. We actually got a pretty decent start. We didn't stall at the start there. We're getting lots of positions at the start, and I think we got to 10th place by the start. And we're battling with McFillin, who had a really bad start. And going into turn 1 here, we're getting literally barged, and this is quite cool. I love this. You can just have a little bit of rubbing against each other, which is quite cool. Running wheel to wheel, look at getting sandwiched by 2 Volvos there. That is just as close as you want to be. Leaving room at the inside, being careful with that. And then here we're going to leave room at the inside because the guy's battling with us. We're going to leave room there and carry on the outside line, get on the power as quickly as we can, and literally getting, I think that's Kloss, I think that's McFillin right next to us actually. We're battling with him, who had a really bad start of the line. I think he stalled or something off the start, and then heading down into this hairpin. We really weren't able to, we were sort of being quite cautious at the start of the race. We didn't want to hit anyone off, and it's so tightly packed here. And we're getting, I think, hit by McFillin's teammate. I don't know who that was. I think it's possibly Klossen. But not too bad so far actually. The start's been really good, and I haven't stalled actually off the start at all the past 3 races, which has been great. And I'm heading to this corner right now, and you can see how many people are battling the way. We've got people going off the track, It was just madness at the start. It was just so hard to sort of keep focused because everyone was going off the track, and at the front we had McFillan going off there, and I promoted him into I think 10th place, and we can see people going wide, getting budged out the way, and yeah, at the 10th place we are, which is actually a great start from us. I didn't expect to be up here so quickly, and really positive. I mean, I don't know how I did it. I think I got lucky, but really good. McFillan gives a little bit nudged there, cheeky old fella, and then just trying to keep it on the track, not trying to push stuff. And you can see like, the Nissan's up there. I think there's a Mercedes up there. The Volvo's up there. So there's a big pack of drivers at the start of the race. So we're just battling away with each other. And we'll actually be able to keep up with them the sort of beginning phase of this race. It was great. I mean, for me, this was probably the more positive starts I've ever had to a race in this league, which is great. And I'd push this towards the future because this race was actually going to be could have been a wet race because there's a percentage of rain that we calculate for this rate for this league, and yeah, I did do a lot of rep practice as well, to try and make sure I knew where the pedals were, so I didn't know how to attack. But here we are going to come back onto the actual race itself. McFillan's going to go up the inside right now, and he's going for a nice move there. We're leaving room, nice and wheel to wheel, not going to hit him off the track, and he gets past the Sebring square now. We might have a look up the inside here. Here we go, up the inside. We go up the inside of him, but we think better of it. We don't want to tap him off or anything like that, because then we get on a little bit of a curve there. So that pretty much is a challenge off the mark. And pretty much you can see, look, I think it's the Volvo and the Nissan battling ahead of McFillan. So we're right in this battle still. We're down to 11th place, obviously, but they're still right here. At the moment I was thinking, this is good still. I mean, I know McFillan was so much more fast than us. He's one of the best drivers on the grid. But Rober behind us as well. He's really quick. He's really quick. These guys, this league are fantastic. But you see Nissan going wide there, and that compromises us a little bit. We had to slow down a little bit because we couldn't really make a move on the outside because he sort of parked it in the middle of the track. So couldn't do much there, and we actually lost a little bit of time. And Robo's right all over us right now. He might go for a move. Here comes Robo. Is he going to make a move at the inside? No, he doesn't. We're going to actually going to go into the Nissan, and we do that pretty well. And a little bit of a touch there, but not too bad otherwise. Up to 11th once again. We are up to 11th place once again. But you can see, look at this pack in front of us. There's so many people battling away, and there's a Mercedes off. And I think that's Shadow Hunter, and that actually compromises us a lot. We lost a lot of position for that because once again parked it in the middle of the track, and that lost me a lot of time. I lift off, so I didn't hit him. And if I was more unfair, I would have hit him off. But here's actually Clausen. We're going to go around the outside of him, and I think that's the best deal of the inside of him, and we get nudged off the track. But you can expect it in this league, and we're going to try and switch back here, and which we don't catch actually. But this is sort of the last corner of that last lap, and we actually go up the inside Clausen. He's right on our outside here, and we need a good exit here, which we do get. And we're right there, and we get tapped from him. I didn't turn into him, and he just tapped me. I don't know what happened there, but that lost me down to 16th place, and that lost me a lot of time. And from sort of lap 3 onwards, that's where things sort of started to not go my way. But I sort of kept, in my head kept fighting. I was still like, there's a lot of people in front of me that were probably not as fast. So I knew I could get them back, catch them back up again. And you can see right then, I think it's Vestial's gone wide, our teammate, and we actually hit him because he's in the middle of the track. He span in front of us. I think I was living with Clausen, I think, from what I could see, and that's got us damage. I think I had suspension damage, transmission damage, and that may mean that we actually had to come into the pits on lap 4, and that really affected our race. We couldn't do a 1 stop anymore. We had to do 2 stops. So that's affected our race big time. So yeah, it was a big bummer from us. I really don't know what was going on that first stint. There was just madness everywhere. We can see, I think it's, I don't know who that is. I think it's probably one of the back markers. I think it's one of the guys who's filled in for this race who's behind us. But we're going to get overtaken by these guys behind us anyway because our transmission is completely gone. And we've got a lack of power, and it affected me throughout the race really. Mentally, it's just difficult when you did nothing really wrong and just caught up in a situation where you couldn't do anything different. And there, Bestia got hit, I think, sliding, and he was sliding my track. I was right behind him, and I couldn't avoid him because he was mid-track. So that's a shame, really. So there's switching to pit lane right now, and this will be us down to dead last right now. Into the pits we go, and yeah, it's making an unnecessary pit stop once again in this race for the second time in the season. But other than that, we just kept fighting back, and we just tried to fight back as much as we can to try and get back into the sort of points where we need to be, obviously, for our championship. But here we're obviously in quite a low position right now. This is living for actually down sort of last place, and we're pushing really hard now, trying to just build the pace. And I'm trying to catch up to the guys in front of me, because I had like 2 back markers who were not as fast as me. I know they weren't as fast as me, so I was trying to focus on catching them up. I thought 15th was on the cards, so I was done in like 17th, so I knew that 15th was on the cards if I just pushed on. So let's keep pushing on. I didn't give up. I knew that I could get at least 60 points this race, so I just continued on, pumped the lap times, and just really I was enjoying it really. I mean, this track is, for me, it's not the highest track in the calendar, but the problem was that we didn't have pace. And as I said, we didn't have much pace in this race, I'm not going to lie. In terms of the whole actual course of this round, we didn't have much pace. And that was due to the fact that there's more corners at this track, and it's a longer track, there's more time spent on this track, so it means that the shorter tracks, you tend to, the advantage over the drivers are smaller because there's less corners. Here there's more corners, so the gap's going to be bigger. And but I felt I had made a step forward in terms of understanding the car. I mean, these cars are very difficult to drive. I mean, I'm normally used to driving Formula 1 cars. Obviously, I'm playing an F1 game, and for me now, I used to hate these cars. I used to think they were heavy as hell. I used to find them horrible in power, but now I actually love driving them. I find them very light to drive. I like chucking them in. And once you get used to Sebring, notice it really does help you in terms of the track, in terms of getting used to the tracks and all that stuff. But here I was just trying to pump in the lap times as quick as we can and try and be as quick as we can in this race. And I felt my pace was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was pretty good. But we had to gain whatever we could out of this race. And I wasn't going to just give up, because that would have been the easy option, just give up in the race and just left it alone. And but I didn't thought about points, and points matter in the end of the day. Just chasing after I think P16 at the time it was, and it got changed to P15. I think someone quit, and I think some people had a bit of problems in terms of hit. I think some people went deep, and I think it was Jordan McGonigal. I think he had a crash some stage later on in the race where I think he went straight on, which fit his race. But coming on to sort of I think it was by the time we're catching into sort of P16. And we can see we've been catching him pretty quickly recently. I mean, I was like pissed off down, and I was catching him so quickly. So that really gave me a confidence boost that I actually had some decent pace in this race. And I practiced so much for this race. I practiced for like 3 to 4 days solid. So I really couldn't do anything different. And I was really pushing as hard as I can and trying to get as many points as possible. My aim here was actually from this point on was a 15th place. If I could have got 15th, that would have been a decent result from us. But you can see how fast we're catching one of the reserves in this race. We've just Volvo, which is a great car. I felt once I got into a rhythm on my own. Actually, I do find when I'm on my own, I can get into a rhythm very quickly. When there's people around me, it's hard because you're just trying to be wary, and obviously in this league you don't want to sort of hit anyone off because you don't want to cause any bad blood or any bad relationships between people. And I try to avoid that as much as I can, just to try and get respect, and I get that back as well, which is great. And I try to just do what I can to be clean, because I'm not the quickest driver, but I'm going to try and get up the order as I can when I have the opportunity. And obviously I accept that some people behind me who might be behind me are faster. I'm gonna fight them until I eventually know it's right to call it off, because I don't want to cause any collisions. I don't want to cause any problems in terms of collisions. I want them to see that I'm a clean driver, and I've proven that this season so far. So you see you catching the map marker right now in the Volvo, and yeah, towards the end of the lap we were getting past him pretty easily. We held up a little bit, but that's to be expected, coming through the field. And you can see he's sort of locking up a little bit as well. He's not used to the car, and that's expected to be the back marker. He's just a reserve. And here we go, sort of double left-hander right now. He's losing the car a little bit, and then a nice exit through this corner, and then going sort of down to second gear once again for this corner, hugging the apex from the fresh tyres. I think we were sort of like 5 laps into the stint, so we're right there with him. And in this slipstream we go, and gonna hold it with him, and he's gonna probably go a little bit wide here, if I remember rightly. We're gonna go up we were thinking about going up the inside there, but that was dangerous for me. I mean, that's gonna cost me more points, or the position at least. And we're just hanging it, and he leaves it on the curb. Up the inside we go. Pretty easy move from us, being patient as much as we can, and the reward was pretty good actually. Getting in front of him, not causing a collision, not causing us any more damage or any loss of time. And that was really the main aim for this race, not trying to cause any more time loss, because we've already lost pit stop. So we're going to be careful and a bit more wiser to what our moves were. We're not going for disparity moves, because that's the wrong way to go about it, and you can lose a lot of time if you do that, and you cause yourself more issues, and there's a lot of element of risks there if you get moves that aren't really on. So just fighting through the field right now, and then this is really nothing really much happened really. We actually got in front of Clausen in the end, which was great, and he was really pretty much on our tail. But I think he went deep. I think sort of lap in a sort of lap 17, 18 time. So we managed to get in front of him, and we were actually catching him quite quickly actually. So we got in front of him, which was great, and he was behind us for pretty much like I think it was nine laps for the end, and it was very tight between me and him. Actually, he had some really good pace with Clausen, and it was a bit of hard, but we actually we're going to get a lap now because of obviously we made a second stop earlier before this. We just let the leaders go through, and it's very difficult here because I didn't want to cause any problems with Kerry or make shuffle, so I let them through because they're about to lead the Grand Prix. I might have compromised Kerry a little bit, but I'm just trying to give them room. For them it's their last lap, so I let them do what they could. Maybe I should have sort of slowed down a bit more, but in the end I had to do what I had to do. I didn't want to lose so much time to Clausen either, because I knew that battle was going on for another 2 more laps, and I just want to keep my nose clean. So running in 13th was brilliant. Running in 13th is great. We're finishing in the same position as we did last race, and it's a great recovery. Obviously, we've got Bestial in front of us in 12th. I felt that without making that second pit stop, making a second pit stop that was unnecessary, and making sit into my strategy, which had been pinging in that sort of lap 12, lap 13 time, I thought I would have easily been fighting up there with Bestial and not being lapped. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's racing in the end of the day, and you just got to try and move on from it. And we've got a very good result in at the end of it. Okay, so we got lucky with some people retiring, but you have to take those opportunities while you can. And for me, I have to take opportunities while I can, because I'm not the fastest guy in this league, and I'm not competing for victories. I'm not competing for top 10 really. But I'll try and take what I can from it, and I've always never given up when there's been a fight on. But as you can see, Shuffle and Kerry are really close to each other, and there's a big conspiracy at the end where basically the race was set to 25 laps, but on the actual race calendar and the actual league information it was set to 26. I don't actually know what the outcome of that is, but pretty much a big conspiracy there between Kerry. He felt they could have quite gone for another lap, or what I thought, and trying to attack them. But actually, their AIs have actually now taken over. So now we're going to held up by their AIs, which is very difficult on this track. You see Kerry's AI is going a little bit wide now. We're trying to be inside of Kerry's AI, and then Shuffle's holding us up a little bit in the Mercedes, and we couldn't get past him very easily. And guess what? We're actually going to get overtaken. You'll see. I try to go up the inside of the AI in front of us, and it doesn't go very well. Have a look. We're going to, he holds me up, and at this point I was thinking, shit, because Clausen was closing in. I was like, fuck my life, and we managed to get past these guys pretty quickly. About now going in the middle of them, and there you go. So, not the best of ways to end my race. A little bit panicky there because I didn't want to lose position to Clausen, but the race is pretty much closing out right now, and we were just trying to bring it home. It was just a really good sort of 10 battle between me and Clausen. I mean, it would have been quite cool if it was closer. I was making a lot of mistakes actually when I was actually in front of Clausen, so I felt if he didn't make mistakes himself, I think it would have been quite a close battle. But we had to take the chance where we had them, and finishing in 13th is a great result for us. I mean, it's a good hold of points. It's the same hold of points we had back in Hockenheim, which was a very strong race for me, and this race was pretty much very strong. I felt if I didn't have to make that second stop, I probably would have been up there with Bestial, and there would have been a bit of a fight there, and I felt I had a good pace to sort of compete with, sort of get 12th or 11th place there. But that's the way it is, and I'm in 13th place, which is great for the championship. I think it puts us at level with 11th now. I think Robo is now in 11th place, so championship standings will be at the end of the video, so I'll put those at the end of the video, so be sure to check those out. But yeah, pretty good from us. I actually did 2 minute 10.1 actually in the race, which is a pretty good time from us. 2 tips off our fastest time. But yeah, pretty much that was the race. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and they're the race results, and be sure to catch the champion standings at the end of the video. And yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.